Hey, what's up guys? Tim here. So in today's tutorial, we're learning how to tie the stitched Solomon bar bracelet. That is this pattern here. So I learned this method from JD Lenzen of tying it all together. So if you're not familiar with his channel, do check him out. I will link it down below as usual. So here's the front side. I want to give you guys a close-up look first before we get started, just so you know what you're getting into. There's the overall weave. There's the back side here and what it looks like. And of course we're doing the knot and loop method. You can do this with buckles. It is based on the Solomon stitch, so if you've seen enough videos on how to do Solomon stitches with buckles, this will be doing this with buckles shouldn't be a problem for you. But I'll just be showing you the knot and loop method. One thing I forgot to mention when I start out this tutorial is for your overall length, do add maybe 1/4 of an inch, maybe 1/8 of an inch extra, just because of the nature of the weave. Because these cords go through the outer cords go through the center core, it does shrink your overall length just a bit by the time you're done. So just keep that in mind. Alright, so that being said, let's get into the tutorial. Okay, so I got my paracord ready. I've got my knot and loop core tied off. And of course I will always annotate the diamond knot tutorial if you don't know how to tie this one at the end of the video. So 8.5 inches is my overall length for my bracelet here, from the tip of the loop to the end of the knot. Then I've got about 6 feet of my main color. And I'm showing you how to do this with the knot and loop method. And if you're doing buckles, I'm sure you can figure that out, because this is really just based on the cobra stitch, right? Okay, so before we start, you can do this with 2 colors for your main. It will, it just depends on what kind of effect you're going for. So just keep that in mind, and you will see the color of your core in this bracelet. Okay, so let's get started here. We're going to go up top and we're going to create our loop. So of course I've got my main color here just doubled up, and I'm working from the core, or the middle of my red and black. Okay, so we're going to start up top as usual, and we're going to start off with a single cobra stitch. We're going to put that across both strands, core strands, the left strand over top of that one, and then through the loop on the other side. We're going to close that off, make sure it doesn't get too twisted. Alright, so I'm going to cinch this up to about 1/2 inch. Okay, so that is where you should be right now. So this is where the main weave starts. So now the way you want to think about it is work with your lead strand, and you're just going to tie the Solomon stitch or cobra knot alternating over the core strands. Okay, so we started on the left here, so you want to go to the opposite side, this side. Okay, so I'm going to go behind the first one and over the one on the right. So behind the left strand, over the strand on the right. Then I'm going to tie the same knot we started out with, single cobra stitch like that, and we cinch it tight. Okay, so that is where you are now. Okay, next we're going to continue, and again with our lead strand, which is the one that's going over, we're going to go behind as we did before, and then over to the other side like this, and then left strand over that one and through the loop we just created. Right, so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just alternating the cobra knot over the core strands, but I'm switching between the left strand and the right strand. Okay, so you can see the effect we're going for. So now that I've showed you the first two, it's really just alternating left and right now. So we just went over the one on the left. Let's do the one over the right. So we're going to go through here, make sure your strand doesn't get caught up. So again, through there, right strand over the one coming across, and through the opening on the other side. And this one, if you're not using a jig like I am, you will have to kind of just cinch it up a little bit each time, like this. You can see the effect coming through, and you can see what I meant about the core strand showing. So you'll have to take that into account when you decide the color scheme you're going for. Okay, So you can see I'm still going, just tying more stitches like that. You can see where we are. Right, so that's pretty much the technique itself. We're just going to continue weaving all the way down our core, and when we get to the end, I'll show you guys how to finish it off. Alright, so I'm done weaving, woven the sufficient length all the way down my core strands. It does get a little bit trickier at the end because the core strands get pinched together, and you do have to go in between. So if you find it a little too challenging, you can use hemostats or pliers to make it easier. So now coming down to the end, it's very simple to finish off. We're just going to take our lead strand, and we're going to tie a single cobra stitch at the very end, and of course over both strands, just to lock everything down. So we're going to finish it off the way we started, with a single cobra stitch. Okay, I'm going to pull that tight, as tight as we can, and that is it. So I'm going to snip and singe off the excess, and then we'll be finished. Alright, and there we have it, guys. We are done. So I snipped and singed off my excess paracord on the bottom here. See, that's nicely finished off. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, as you'll notice, these strands go in between the core, so that will affect your overall length. It will shrink it very minimally, just because the core strands get pushed out because of the paracord in the middle, so in turn that will shorten your length a little bit. So I'd say give yourself just a few extra, maybe like an extra 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch, just to be safe. But if you're doing this with knot and loop, you can adjust it at the very end, okay? Provided you have a bit of excess paracord. Alright, so just want to give you guys one last close-up look at this weave. This is the stitched Solomon bar. There's a back. Actually looks quite nice on the back too, quite a different effect. But this is the one we're looking at. Alright, so that's about it, guys. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you have any comments or questions, as usual, please leave them down below the comments. I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. And if you enjoyed this video, please do like, share, and subscribe. That would help me out a lot. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Alright, bye.